by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very few, very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Purport: Theological science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. It is not a subject to be understood by persons who are too much attached to material activities. Only the very expert who have almost retired from the material activities by culture of spiritual knowledge can be admitted to the study of this great science. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that out of many hundreds and thousands of men, only one person deserves to enter into transcendental realization. And out of many thousands of such transcendentally realized persons, only a few can understand the theological science, specifically dealing with God as a person. Sri Vyasadeva is therefore advised by Narada to describe the science of God directly by relating his transcendental activities. Vyasadeva is himself a personality expert in this science, and he is unattached to material enjoyment. Therefore, he is the right person to describe it, and Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, is the right person to receive it. Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost theological science, and therefore it can react on the layman as medicinal doses. Because it contains the transcendental activities of the Lord, there is no difference between the Lord and the literature. The literature is the factual literary incarnation of the Lord. So the layman can hear the narration of the activities of the Lord. Thereby, they are able to associate with the Lord and thus gradually become purified from material diseases. The expert devotees also can discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstances. Devotional service is dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brains of the materialistic population. Such transcendental activities of the Lord for the service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialistic men. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring the materialistic men of this age of quarrel into order of peaceful life and transcendental realization. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vichakshanosyarhati Veditum Vibhor Anantaparasya Nivritita Shukam Pravartamanasya Gunair Anatmanas Tato Bhavan Darshaya Chestitam Vibho. Translation again. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. So here in this verse, Narada Muni is advising Vyasadeva to write directly about the pastimes of the Lord. So previously he has compiled many literatures. He divided the Vedas. Previously Vedas were one. So now he divided into four. He Upanishads and then Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta means the conclusion of Vedas. So he gave, this is the conclusion of Vedas. So he wrote everything, but in Kali Yuga, people are not competent enough to understand the complicated Vedic languages and the philosophy. Even Vedanta Sutra he wrote, the conclusion, but Kali Yuga people are not competent enough to understand this. So for Kali Yuga people, he compiled Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata, he put the message of Lord in indirect form. So in Mahabharata, it is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, everything is there. But still, it's about the devotion is also there, but it is not so visible. It's indirect. So generally you go to book distribution, many people ask, I want Mahabharata, I want Mahabharata. So Bhagavad Gita, you take Bhagavad Gita. No, Bhagavad Gita is there, but still I want Mahabharata. Now people are interested in reading Mahabharata stories, and in Mahabharata a lot of politics there. People are interested in these things. So he wrote for Kali Yuga people, but still he was not satisfied and he was despondent. And he asked his guru, this is all previous verses, we discussed all this. So now in few years back, Narada Muni started advising. So why you are despondent? So now in this verse he is clearly saying that therefore those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So you describe the transcendental activities of the Lord directly. So by doing this, we are doing the ultimate good to the society. And why Narada Muni is advising Vyasadeva? Because he is saying that by your goodness. So not anybody can understand or hear, appreciate or even speak about the transcendental activities of the Lord. So now you see there are many people, they speak directly about the confidential pastimes of the Lord. But we are not qualified to hear directly, immediately to hear about the Lord. We have to purify first. So what is the qualification to speak and hear? That is mentioned in this verse. So here it is said the Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness. So one who left all material happiness, then only he can describe or even hear the pastimes of the Lord. So for that we have to qualify ourselves. So always we say, we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master, so a qualified spiritual master. So before approaching a bona fide spiritual master, first we have to qualify ourselves. We have to be a bona fide disciple to approach a bona fide spiritual master. So now you approach a bona fide spiritual master is bona fide, but the disciple is not bona fide. So disciple is not following an instruction, disciple is in material contamination, he is cultivating the material desires. So in that way, even though the spiritual master gives the instruction directly how to come out of this material existence, we are not capable of applying those instructions in our life. So that is not the case. So here in the purport, Prabhupada explains that Vyasadeva himself, a personality expert in this science, and he is unattached to material enjoyment. So now Vyasadeva, he is hearing from Narada Muni. So he heard instruction from Narada Muni that you directly write the transcendental activities of the Lord. So he heard it. Narada Muni is a bona fide spiritual master, and Vyasadeva is also a personality expert in this science, and he is unattached to material enjoyment. He is not contaminated, he is pure person. Your goodness Narada Muni is saying. Therefore, he is the right person to describe it, and Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, is the right person to receive it. So Vyasadeva, he spoke Bhagavatam to his son, Shukadeva Goswami. So he spoke Bhagavatam, he is the right person, and to receive this knowledge, Shukadeva Goswami, he is the right person. So the both sides should be bona fide. Like for example, we have many devices here, mobile phone. We have given this example many times. So like we get signal in the mobile phone. So this signal is transmitted from a transmitter. So the transmitter is transmitting the signal, but we have some problem in the mobile phone. So we may use the same network, but in some phone we are receiving the signal, in some phone we are not able to. So it doesn't mean some problem is there in the transmitter. We have some problem in the receiver. So in the same way, both should be bona fide, the transmitter and the receiver. So we have to qualify ourselves. We have to get rid of all this contamination of material enjoyment, enjoying this material nature. So when we cultivate these material desires, when we Prabhupada says the fire is there, you put oil in the fire, the fire will increase. So in that way, everyone is contaminated by material desires, but the point is we have to put water and stop it instead of putting oil. So when you put oil, it will keep on increasing, it will never stop. So there is a so-called philosophy also. So what do you say? You enjoy material desires, and by enjoying continuously, and you feel like, oh, enough of material enjoyment, I will detach. It will never happen. So to detach from material enjoyment, the process is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why in the translation it is mentioned that therefore those who are not well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness. So that the ways should be shown the ways. What is the way to come out of this material attachment and attach to Krishna? So that way is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So by understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, one can come out of material attachment. And here the point is, Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't propagate you detach from material things or material attachment. So we don't speak much about detachment. Now we speak more about attachment to Krishna. So when we attach ourselves to Krishna, automatically we will detach from material things. So here in the purport, in the beginning, Prabhupada says that theological science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. So generally, spiritual science, a common man cannot understand this. But it doesn't mean that spirituality only for advanced people. It is not like this. It is for common people. But generally you go to people and you come for the class, or you read Bhagavad Gita, you chant. People are not interested. People are not inclined to do this. Because so much covering is there. The material contamination is there. The covering is so hard. They are not showing inclination to spiritual knowledge. And here it is said, it is difficult subject matter, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. Transcendental in the sense, not in the material purview. It is beyond the material purview, beyond the modes of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance. So here in another point, Prabhupada mentions that and out of many thousands of such transcendently realized persons Only a few can understand the theological science specifically dealing with God as a person. So even many people are interested in spiritual knowledge, and they are more into the Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, but to understand the absolute truth as a person, the absolute personality of Godhead, Krishna. To understand Krishna, you need much more purity in the heart. So when the covering is hard, people are not ready to accept this. Because we were in the association of Krishna, we were serving Krishna, so we came to this material world, we fall into this material world to enjoy independently of Krishna. So now our tendency is like, I am the enjoyer, I am the master. So when someone says Krishna is a person, he is the enjoyer, we are not the enjoyer. We are meant to serve the Lord, serve Krishna. And in that way we can be happy. So this point people are not able to accept, because our tendency is to enjoy independently of Krishna. Now again to go back, so Krishna is the enjoyer, I am not the enjoyer, I am enjoyed by Krishna. So generally they say, we are Prakriti. Prakriti means female. And Krishna is a supreme Purusha, Param Purusha, we say, Parama Purusha. So he is a male and we are female. So we are enjoyed, we are not enjoyer. So now to realize this point, that Krishna is the enjoyer, we are not the enjoyer. To understand this, we need to have that purity. So without purity, it's very difficult to understand. Someone may stop all their sinful activity. Someone may even realize, I am not this body, I am soul. They may get rid of all these bodily activities. But still, to understand this point, it's difficult for them. So that's why it is said, especially when it is dealing with God as a person. So God is a personality. It's sounding strange for them, because they are thinking that we have a body and we are suffering with this body, and this body has limitations. So if God also has a body, then God is also limited. Now he cannot have body. That is a theory the Mayavadi philosophers they say. But it is said the transcendental nature of God. So we have a nature, this is material nature. We are covered by this material nature, we are controlled by this material nature. We are covered by Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. We are covered by gunas, controlled by gunas. But Krishna is not like us. This is the transcendental nature of God. This is not in the material purview. So this point we should understand. When it is dealing with God as a person, it doesn't mean that he has a body like us. He has a body, transcendental body, spiritual body. And there is no difference between Krishna's body and soul. There is no difference. So now we have a difference. We say that we are not this body, we are soul. We are soul and the body is different from us. So it is not the case with Krishna. So in that way, it requires a certain level of detachment from this material world to understand this point. So without detachment, without purity, we cannot understand this. So in that way, our mind is too clouded by desires and attachment to grasp this absolute truth as a person. So it is clouded. So when it is clouded, we can see there is no sun. It's dark, and it is so much smoke. When you drive, you will be able to see. So there is so much smoke is there. You will not be able to see what is there in the front. So now our mind is so much clouded with desires, material desires. So when it is clouded, we won't be able to see things properly. So the purification has to happen. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that so there are various grades of men. out of many thousands, one may sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is body, and what is absolute truth. So there are so many people who are into spirituality, but hardly someone is interested in realizing the transcendental nature of God. So here in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned that Manushyanam sahasreshu kasyit yatadi siddhaye yatadam api siddhanam kasyin mam veti tatvatah. So Manushyanam sahasreshu, Manushyanam of men, sahasreshu means many thousands of men. So out of many thousands of men, one may be interested in spiritual understanding. So spiritual understanding, not necessarily realizing Krishna or realizing absolute truth as a person. Spiritual realization means it can be anything, or Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, anything. So out of thousands of men, one may be interested in realizing a spiritual knowledge. So here it said, Kasyit yatadi siddhaye. He wants to understand spiritual knowledge. Yatadam api siddhanam, out of many persons who realized the spiritual knowledge, the Brahman knowledge. So out of many thousands of those people, hardly someone understands Kasyin mam veti tatvatah. Hardly someone understands me, Krishna is saying. So to understand Krishna, it's not so easy. So many say that no, bhakti is so easy. So bhakti is for sentimental people. So generally Mayavadi philosophers, they say that ultimately one should come to this point. So initially we are not capable of coming to this point. So initially you may worship idol. They say idol. They don't consider it's a deity. So you can do deity worship, and by gradually worshipping deities, then you come to the level. So this is a wrong concept. So ultimately one should come to the point of bhakti. So bhakti includes everything. So in that way, Krishna says, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. One may endeavor for understanding spiritual knowledge. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So it's not easy to understand Krishna. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one section. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So there in one section, very interesting, how a devotee is greater than anyone else among jnanis, karmis. So there in that it is said, although the living entities known as human beings are very small in quantity, that division may be still further subdivided. For there are many uncultured human beings, Milechas, Pulindas and Shabaras. There are many category of human beings. So before that it is mentioned there are 84 lakh species of life. So among 84 lakh species, the human beings are very less, 4 lakhs. So among 84, 4 lakhs is a very small portion. So even among the human being, there are many uncultured human beings. So compared to uncultured human beings, the human beings who are cultured, they are better. So then it is said, among human beings, those who are followers of Vedic principles are considered civilized. Among those, almost half simply lip service, while committing all kinds of sinful activities against these principles. Such people do not care for the regulative principles. Some people, they are not uncultured, but they, in the name of following Vedas, they do many sinful activities. So they don't care for the regulative principles. So a different grade is given. It's going one by one. And then it is said, among the followers of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of fruitive activity and distinguishing between good and bad work. Out of many such sincere fruitive actors, there may be one who is actually wise. And people who are cultured, and they may think that, now I'll do this, I will get this. Now, there are fruity workers. some expectation is there with some action. I'll do this yajna, I'll get this benefit. I'll go to this temple, I'll do this puja, I'll get this benefit. The fruity workers. It is said, if someone is doing in the garb of following the Vedas and committing some sinful activities, they are better than them who are following fruity work. And then it is said, out of many millions of such wise men, one may actually become liberated, mukta. And out of many such liberated persons, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is very difficult to find. It is said, Koti Jnani Madhye hoy ek jana mukta. Koti mukta madhye durlabha ek Krishna bhakta. It is said, there are many wise people. They understood. Koti Jnani, they are wise people. Ek jana mukta. So among who are many wise people, one person will become liberated person. And among the liberated persons, Koti Mukta Madhye, Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. It's very difficult to find a devotee of Krishna. So it is that Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. So why Krishna Bhakta is great? Because a Jnani, a liberated person, he is into liberation. He wants liberation. So liberation in the sense, I want to get rid of this material suffering. I am suffering, so I want to get rid of this. I want to be happy. I want to liberate. I don't want to be under the control of material nature. So this is a desire. So but Krishna Bhakta is Nishkama. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Shanta. Because he doesn't have any desire. Any desire is no material desire. So I want to get rid of this material desire. I want to be happy. No, I don't want to be under the control. So he just wants to serve Krishna. No, he is Shanta. He is peaceful. No. So Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakali, Ashanta. So they are into this Bhukti, Mukti and Siddhi. I want the Ashta Siddhi, there are so many things. So they are Ashanta. So in the purport, at the end, Prabhupada mentions that by following the same method, one can bring the materialistic men of this age of quarrel into order of peaceful life and transcendental realization. So this peaceful life, how we can get? By engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. So the devotional service which is shown by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the way to become peaceful. But becoming peaceful, that is not the goal of a devotee, but this is all a side effect. So this is the point. So many say that no, bhakti is so easy. So in one of the purport, Prabhupada mentions in the 7th chapter, in the same verse, Manushyanam Sahasreshu. At the end of the purport, Prabhupada mentions that if bhakti is so easy, then why the Mayavadi philosophers, they have taken up the difficult path? It is so easy, right? Then you can take the easy path. Why you are taking the difficult path? So even the Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, it is mentioned that klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gadir dukkam dehavadbir vapati. So klesho means difficult. Klesho adhikatarastesham. Adhikatara means it's very difficult process this is. Who is following this impersonal philosophy. Klesho adhikaratesham avyakta sakta chetasam. Avyakta means impersonal. One who is following this impersonal philosophy. And avyakta hi gadir dukkam idehavadbir avayapati. This avyakta, this impersonal process is very difficult and they will reach me at last, Krishna is saying. So then bhakti is an easy process. So then why the impersonal philosophers, they have taken up a difficult process? So you can take the easy process, right? So and at the end Prabhupada concludes that, so therefore bhakti is not an easy process. So if you practice bhakti, then we will understand. You have to wake up early and chant the holy name, and while chanting the holy name, there are offenses and inattentive chanting. You have to chant, engage in the service of the Lord, purify the senses. So, but we don't focus more on this purifying the senses. By practicing bhakti, this all automatically will happen. So bhakti is not an easy process. Bhakti may be easy, that if you don't follow any rules and regulations and you just do some puja and then do something like sentimentalist, so this might be easy. But this is not recommended. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami mentions that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpata Eva Kalpate. Utpata Eva means disturbance. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidim Vina means if someone is practicing bhakti without consulting Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Pancharatrika Vidhi, by just out of sentiment, this will create a disturbance in the society. This is not bhakti. So when someone practicing bhakti in this way, not referring to the scriptures, not referring to Shruti, Smriti, that might be easy, but that is not bhakti at all. When someone is following bhakti, referring to all this, then it's not easy process. The bhakti is not easy. So in that way, it is said that we have to develop the qualification first. Yes. So in the purport, in the beginning, now in the translation it is mentioned that only a very expert personality, retired from activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. So here the point is we have to retire from activities of material happiness. So that is the qualification to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Anybody cannot understand the knowledge from Srimad Bhagavatam. So very highly qualified person, a very expert personality, it is mentioned. So only they can understand this knowledge. So generally people, into materialistic culture, they think that I can be happy here, but it is not possible. So they make many plans, but it is not possible. It's like Prabhupada gives the example that camel, and we might have heard, camel it eats the twigs when it cactus. So when it eats, that will cut the tongue and blood comes out. But it tastes good. So the materialistic people who are enjoying this material senses, this is all they are enjoying their own blood. So there is no happiness there. So when someone stops this material enjoyment, so then they are deserved to understand this spiritual knowledge, the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So otherwise it is not possible. And as we discussed before, we don't focus more on stopping material enjoyment. We focus more on attachment to Krishna. So in Bhagavatam it is said, Yasyam vai shruyamananam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpatyate pumsam shoka moha bhayapaha. So it is said, simply by one's giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for love, for devotional service to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion and fearfulness. So we have to hear the message of Bhagavatam. So the qualification to hear Bhagavatam is to get the qualification to hear is one should be pure, not into material enjoyment. And if someone is in material enjoyment, to come out of this material enjoyment, that is the process is also Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it is said, should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness, so that they can come out of material attachment. So if someone is attached to material enjoyment, continuously when someone is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, this purifies us, just by hearing. Like it is said, in all our senses, the ear is very active. Even when we are sleeping, even when we are in the deep sleep, still the ear is active. All other senses are inactive. Like for example, you came early in the morning. How you came? A bike. But how you woke up? Alarm. So you were sleeping, but still alarm wakes you up. So ear is active even though when you are sleeping. So in that way, hearing the message of Bhagavatam, even though when we are sleeping, it will purify us. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like he calls out people, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. Kota Nidra Jao Maya, Pishachira Kole. Means, how long you will sleep in the witch called Maya. You wake up, sleeping souls, he's saying. So sleeping souls in the sense, many times devotees quote this, if someone is sleeping. It doesn't mean physically someone is sleeping. Jeev Jago in the sense, you wake up from this material attachment. Don't be attached to these material things. Gaura Chandra Bole. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to sleeping souls. So don't sleep in the lap of Maya. Come out. So how to come out? By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, all our material pangs. Now, what are the material pangs is mentioned here? Shoka, Moha, Bhaya, Apaha. Shoka means lamentation. If a person is too much into material enjoyment, he always feels dull. He's not happy, like always lamenting. What will happen? So Shoka, Moha means illusion. Always in the illusion. And Bhaya, fear. So he can come out of this. So then we can be happy, peaceful. So that is the qualification to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So once you come to this stage, then we will appreciate the message of Bhagavatam. And to come to that stage, again Bhagavatam is required. Continuously hearing Bhagavatam is the... So it is said Bhagavatam is for the Paramahamsas. But still, one who is trying to become Paramahamsa, for them also Bhagavatam is required. It is not that one who has reached the level of Paramahamsa only they can read Bhagavatam. It is not like this. One who wants to become Paramahamsa, so he can also read Bhagavatam. So it is said, Suta Goswami, he prays to Shukadeva Goswami. He offers his obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami, that how it starts. Yasyanubhavam akila shrutisharamekam samsare adhyatma deepam atiti tirshatam tamondam samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasonam upayami guru munina. It is said, Yasyanubhavam akila shrutisharamekam. So akila shruti, among all the Vedic literatures, it is the Shruti Saram, the essence of all Vedic literatures. Akila Shruti Saram Ekam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shukadeva Goswami, he gave this knowledge out of compassion for the fallen souls. So Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam. Samsarina means one who is into this material activities. Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam. Out of mercy, he gave this knowledge. Purana Guhyam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So by taking this knowledge, by hearing this message regularly, continuously, then the cloud will go away. As we said before, our mind is clouded with material desires. So to purify these material desires, we have to take shelter of Bhagavatam. Now, regularly, when we hear Bhagavatam, when we read Bhagavatam, And when we associate with devotees who are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord, so in that way, by hearing, we can come out of this cloud of Maya. So then it is clear to understand, to receive this message of Bhagavatam. Otherwise it is not clear, it is clouded. So first we have to remove the cloud of Maya by hearing Bhagavatam, then we can appreciate the message of Bhagavatam. So Hare Krishna, any questions, comments regarding this?
Like in spiritual world, like Prakriti is female, right? So Prakriti is female and he is Purusha. The Lord is Purusha. But when it comes to material nature, like Krishna is an enjoyer. But here we will try to enjoy. So we cannot enjoy fully. Even we can enjoy for a second or some minutes maximum. Then we have to suffer for that sense.
Yes.
So my question is like, is it because of like we came here, like it was our thought that we will come here, or it was some we did something wrong there, so we came here? What is how?
No, we came here because of our independence.
We wanted independence.
No, we have independence. So even though when we were in the spiritual world, we had independence. Jiva has a free will. So out of free will, we can desire what we want. So we wanted to enjoy independently of Krishna. So because of our desire, we came here. So now we came to this material world. Even now also we have that independence. We have free will. Now we can choose whether I will continue here or I will go back to Krishna. So because of that desire, we came here.
Like when we like before we came, we knew that this is like Dukkalaya. Everything we knew everything.
Yeah, we knew. Even now also we know. There are some things we know. When we do something, we feel little guilt. Now, why did I do this? I should have not done this. So then that guilt is there because we know it is wrong, but still we commit it because of that strong desire. So we have to purify those desire, and we have to be careful of what we are desiring. So when we desire, then it's up to us whether I have to go this way or that way.
Even in spiritual life, it's up to us how much effort we put. It's up to us. It's not like
Even the spiritual life, even now, if we want, we can just go out and we'll live like a karmi. We can do that. We don't want to do that, but we can do that. But we are choosing not to do that. There many times something will prompt us, do this, do this. I know it is wrong, but still do it. The push is there. So at that time, we have to use our intelligence. The mind is pushing, but the intelligence is higher than mind. So intelligence should tell mind that this is not correct. So at that time, we have to decide what to do.
So you can get help from Guru.
Yeah, Guru's help is instruction. Guru is giving instruction. So regularly hearing from Guru. So by following the instructions, then we can. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.